It is good to be in your houses with you today. We are so glad on this Sunday that we are together again as a community. And when I say together again, I mean our folks online and our folks on in person experiencing one celebration, actually two today, but one right now. We are so glad that you're here, and I realize in person, like I'm not still going to clap. And that's really interesting. And we're going to have a clapping clinic. You know, it's a really amazing thing that when the band is here, oh, I can hear people sing and clap. It's good though. It's a joyful noise. Often. So I am happy about the quantum spirit of the beloved community. I love how we are vigilant about this not being over pandemic. And also, we have to be able to see the end of the pandemic in spirit. And that's the thing about having tools of faith, is that you can see it in the spirit and in the imagination and not just on the spreadsheet. You can see cures, you can see healing, you can see justice, you can see peace, you can see liberation, you can see the loving community, you can see that there is enough to go around, and yes, you can see freedom. I love the quantum and the integral properties of it all. It says you can pray in the virtual and in person. It says you can gather in the virtual and in person. It says you can organize in the virtual and in person. It says you can bring about change in the world in the virtual or in person. It says you can love. You can love in the virtual and you can love in person. The integral qualities of quantum love says that love is transcendent. Love allows us to be in two places at one time and still be whole, still be indivisible, still be one thing with many different experiences of the thing. So yes, welcome, 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 welcome to Life Memorial Church Celebration. And yes, we are on the corner of Taylor and Ellis, but we are also on all corners of the internet. And as you can see, we are inviting the God of the interflow to move between belief systems, to move between races, to move between genders, to move between class, to move between ages, to move between secular humanisms and devout Christianities, to move between police brutalities and the brutalized, to move between you and I until like water. Love flows freely between us. We're beginning this exciting work of this hybrid celebration that we have been doing. We've been online for 15 months. 15 months, y'all. And it's been an amazing experience. And we're going to be opening up to the public in just a week. So thank you for being our test congregation. Yes. And thank you all for being with us and letting us be in your homes again. You'll feel a lot of the differences here, but you'll feel the prayers in the house, and you'll feel them online. You'll hear the songs in person, and you'll hear them online. You'll feel the beloved community in the house, and you will feel it online. And we are working our hardest to make sure that all of this is just the conduit or spirit to flow between us all. It is our highest hope and dream for our Sunday celebration. So on behalf of our CEO and President Karen Henry and our co-founders, the Right Reverend Cecil Williams, and our very own San Francisco's poet laureate Janice Miragitani, on behalf of our board of directors, our senior leadership, our lay leadership, our congregational life leadership, our church office, our celebration planning team, our congregation, welcome, welcome, welcome. And let's just call this celebration open. Let's call it sacred, and I hope that like her, and for whatever reason you're here, we will sing and pray and preach it to you, that you will have your answer by the end of this celebration. And I also want to do a little bit of level setting. So we've been online for 15 months, and the virtual has been real for a lot of us. And we will be continuing online and adding in person to all the lessons that we have learned while we were online. Yes, enter through Taylor Lee and exit through the Ellis Street door. Yes, check in on the iPad downstairs. Yes, social distance. if you can remodel it, smiles. He said, don't love anyone, but I didn't say don't love anyone. I didn't say don't look into people's eyes deeply. I didn't say don't call their name. I didn't say don't get excited. Let the energy of the hug be felt across the room. Feels like a lot. Feels like it's not the same. We are changing. And if we want to keep this church alive, we have to change. If we want to stay alive, we have to change. We're in the middle of a still raging pandemic. And if we have to sing through masks, lock eyes as opposed to holding hands, shed visible tears, gesture with our hands and bodies, and transmit spirit in a way that keeps the spirit flowing, so be it, we will do it. So yes, you'll see a lot of things that we're trying. We have amazing ventilation in place, because we know a lot of this pandemic is about ventilation. So you'll see the personal air cleaners on the floor running at full speed, and if you listen, that's full speed. We also have 5 doors open in the back, bringing in air. We have all 4 doors open, bringing in more air, and we have this big exhaust system sucking out the air. We can bottle this air, and it will be good air. So yes, live, and we'll have live and video elements in celebration, and we will have technology, and the technology will serve us, not us serving the technology. And in my comments, everything we heard you should do, but also pull your phones out. Keep them on silent or vibrate, but please feel free to post and tweet. But also, in person, you'll be able to participate in celebration by taking pictures of the QR codes, which will take you to amazing, magical places like being at Disneyland. Like you take the QR code and you'll be transported to somewhere fun, like church. So, if today is your first time being with us today, and you are online, we would love for you to raise your hand. Thank you. And if you are here in person, in line, we are so glad that you're here for the first time. There will be a QR code available for you to let us know how to stay in contact with you. This also means that our virtual and in-person prayer basket is open. And if you'd like to send a prayer while you're here, you can come down to the basket here and write a prayer. There's a basket for clean pencils and use pencils and clean prayer sheets and written on prayer sheets. But you can also take a picture of the QR code, and that will take you to our online prayer form submission. We want to pray for everyone who needs prayer. If you need a prayer for yourself, just write me in the chat or here in person. If you need a prayer for your home, for your house, for your city, your block, your neighborhood, this state, this world, we have prayer possibilities for everyone here. We actually have members of the prayer team in the house today. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Don't forget, we will pray over every prayer in the house. Can we pray, y'all? God of many names, God of many homes, God of many flora, and God of many fauna. God of many oceans, and God of many mountains. God of many states, and God of many forms. God of many genders, and God of many pronouns, and God of many sexualities, and God of many races, and God of many tribes, and God of many governments, and God of many activists, and God of many properties, and God of many senses, and God of many species, and God of many ancestors, and God of many descendants, and God of many ascendants, and God of many viruses, God of many vaccines, God of many variants, God of many masks, God of many hosts. Interflow. Move freely in this space between distances and polarities that seem insurmountable. Interflow. Between left and right, evangelical and progressive, straight and gay, love and hate. Interflow. Stir the gifts of this kingdom until we are spilling into each other, until we know that love cannot be commoditized, capitalized, or kept away from its intended. Interflow between our pros and your cons. In the many names of God that translate into love, and in the names of of the 600,000 ancestors that we have gained through COVID. Amen? Hallelujah? Hallelujah. Right on? Shalom? Salam? Namaste? And Ashe. And now, please join your voice with ours as we sing our community song. Yeah! Somebody pray for me. Have me on their mind. Have me on their mind. Took the time to pray for me. I'm so glad they prayed. I'm so glad they prayed. I'm so glad. Yes, I'm glad they prayed. I'm so glad. I'm so glad they prayed for me. My mother prayed. She had me on her mind, and she took the time to pray for me. I'm so glad she prayed. Yes, I'm glad she prayed. I'm so glad she prayed for me. He had me on his mind till the time. He took the time to pray for me. I'm so glad. I'm so glad he prayed. Yes, I'm glad. Yes, I'm glad he prayed. I'm so glad. I'm so glad he prayed for me. The preacher prayed. The preacher prayed for me. Had me on his mind. Took his time to pray for me. I'm so glad. I'm so glad. Yes, I'm glad. Yes, I'm glad he prayed. So glad. I'm so glad he prayed for me. My community prayed for me. Had me on his mind. Took the time to pray for me. I'm so glad. I'm so glad. Yes, I'm glad. Yes, I'm glad. I'm so glad. I'm so glad he prayed for somebody. Come on, we can sing. Pray for me. Have me on their mind. Have me on their mind. Took the time to pray for me. I'm so glad. I'm so glad. Yes, I'm glad. Yes, I'm glad. I'm so glad. I'm so glad
Good morning. I hope you were singing along with our community song as we do every week. We love to sing here at Glide, and we just welcome everyone to come and sing. Right after our community song, we do our community embrace, and all that is that it's a good morning. It's a reach out to the other side of the aisle to say hello and good morning and just talk to the humanity of each and every one of us. So we're going to do that right now. We're going to take the time, put the names in the chat. And if you're in person, just reach out and say hello. And we'll have a few seconds of just embracing each other. over to you.
And he will be really soon. We send Vernon all our respite and rest love. He is finishing up his vacation. It is well deserved. He has been an amazing musical director for 15 months. Did y'all know that the ensemble still meets every week? For these past year, every week the ensemble has been getting together and singing. And it hasn't been normal. It's been weird, and it's been beautiful, and it's been exciting, and it really was a lifeline to a lot of people. So embrace the awkward and just go with it. We are all moving through this with grace and extending grace to one another as well. You know, music is such an amazing and important part of our celebrations here today, and Vernon has lined up some amazing music for us today. We are going to start with the ensemble's own Derek Orth is going to sing live for us today. And then Vernon has curated 2 more songs, one from Aaron Mixon and another from he and Michelle Arce. And of course, the Change Band in the videos as well, who are as good in video as they are in person. So come on, Derek, why don't you sing your song?
All right. Thank you, Marvin. This is a song that was written in the 70s. It has special significance for me and maybe several others. That's called What's the Telephone by Robbie Secret. It's nice to hear your voice again. I waited all day long, even wrote a song for you. It's strange the way you make me feel. Just a word or two, I'd like to do the same for you. It's nice to hear you say hello, and how are things with you? I love you, but very soon it's time to go, and got this job to do. Well, I'm here writing songs for you. Strange how a phone call can make your day, take you away. Away from the feeling of being alone. That's the telephone. Oh, oh, oh. It's nice the way you say my name. Not very fast or slow, just soft and low. The same as when you tell me how you feel. I feel the same way too. I'm very much in love with you.
I've learned to live for the sound of his laughter. His sunny smile is my only light. To love him now is the sole thing that I'm after. I'll make his melody my light. He came to me when I knew I lost the meaning. He lifted the shadows from across my way. He touched my heart with the sweet song that I'm singing. He brought back the sunlight into my day. Love we all are sharing right now. He's every reason why. He is my Jesus, and I'm a witness to the wonders of His ways. Hey, yeah.
The devil that I could not pay.
They took the next step.
God is my oasis in the desert when I'm dying of thirst. All I have to do is make sure He comes first. My God has carried me all the way.
They took the next step.
I'm confessing today 'cause He saved my life.
They took the next step.
He filled my soul with love, full of joy and strife.
They took the next step.
God is my oasis in the desert when I'm dying of thirst. All I have to do is make sure He
Aaron Nixon, and Michelle Arcee, the Change Band and the Glide Ensemble, and of course the amazing Vernon Bush. Please give it up. I'm going to share some announcements with you right now. I'm not sure if this mic is on, but I am going to share them anyway. Let's see. You are welcome to join us in person. As you can tell, we are a packed house. Yes. You can't see it from home, but there are people lined up down the block for at least 5 blocks. Just kidding. But we are having a first come, first served policy. So if you want to come to celebration, just remember that you should get here before celebration starts for some of the best seats in the house. And if you're at home, you have the best seats in the house. And you don't even have to social distance. So we are very happy that you are here. If you're watching online, you can follow us by liking and following our new Facebook page for the church, our new church Facebook page. And there's a link in the chat where you can go and get that. And if you're here in person and you want to stay connected, you can put your QR code reader on here, and that will take you to a place to sign up for Congregation Connects, our newsletter. If you want to join us in Freedom Hall while you're online, there's a link for that in the chat. And if you are someone who just wants to call in on your cell phone or your home phone and just listen, no visual, just audio, you can call in to our call-in number as well. So we're making that available to low-tech folks. And if you are a first-time visitor, please don't forget to sign up for our Congregation Connects. And let's see, if you are interested in the service we have called Home Connect, are you or someone you know 60 plus San Francisco residents with an income level below the poverty line, please reach out to us because we have an amazing service available to them. It's free internet with a free tablet with free training on how to use it. And if you want to bring folks who are seniors online, this is the best way to do it, Home Connect. You can also listen to the whole Glide Ensemble discography on Spotify. We have a Spotify channel for the ensemble. And if you want to listen to Sunday Celebration, you can listen to us on Facebook after the recording is over, but you can also listen to us on Podomatic or wherever you listen to your podcast. We have 2 things going on our podcast. We have our full celebrations, but we also have this thing called tiny celebrations, where we'll cut out the best parts of it's all good, but we'll cut out the favorite parts of Sunday Celebration and we'll put them on as podcasts in little tiny bites. So you can listen to your favorite part of celebration throughout the week. Oh, wait a second, the most important announcement. Today is Paula Farmer's birthday. Steve was standing in for Paula, but we have to rehearse that a little bit more. But we will have Steve come up in a second, but Steve's gonna give a special announcement, and then we'll have one of the most sacred parts of celebration, our sacred storytelling time, where our Glide community shares their experiences with Glide, why they come to Glide, why they give to Glide, why they participate in Glide. And our witness today will be Sarah Paredes. So we'll hear from Steve, and then we'll hear from Sarah.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Well, guess what? It's backpack time. And this is the time where Tyree and I have been working on this for 7 years, supplying backpacks to the students in need. And this year, our goal is 215 backpacks. And you can do that. You can donate. You can help us by going to glide.org/backtoschool and donate there. We accept any amount, but $25 buys a backpack with supplies. And we'd also request that you send your prayers and kind thoughts because the kids are returning to school where previously they were doing distant learning. So COVID has changed a lot of things, including our little backpack drive. So who are those backpacks for? Those are for Glide Housing. Glide's Family, Youth, and Child Care Center, and Glide Kids. So we ask that you please do not donate at the church, but simply go online, glide.org/backtoschool, and donate there. And so thank you for making this possible.
Hi, this is my first time in the sanctuary in 15 months, of course. And just before we went into lockdown, we were coming up on the Sunday for International Women's Day. And I was going to give the testimony, and prepping for that is terrifying, of course. I'm prepping for giving testimony, and there was so much uncertainty, like, is there going to be celebration or not? So I felt like it was apt to kind of sneak in right before we open up again. And Marvin used the word lifeline about Glide and the way we've been able to stay connected. And I had been thinking, I almost want to say Glide saved my life, but Glide saved my light. And that was before the pandemic. Glide has been a through line in my life for a very long time. I first came to Glide not ready to go to church, not looking for a home church, but a friend invited me to join Janice's dance troupe that Larry was in also. And I wasn't ready to sit in a pew, but any invitation to dance and learn how to dance was gonna draw me in. So a lot of people say, oh, I started in the balcony and moved down. So basically I started here and moved to the front pew. And Janice was leading the dance group, and that she made such a huge impression on me as a powerful force of nature, strong, and then also very open about her vulnerabilities, about being an incest survivor. And that made me feel safe to come here, a place that you can talk about what really happened to you. And also the diversity of the group and not having to pretend to be colorblind. Like one time we were performing somewhere else, a performance that Brenda was doing, and Janice was like, don't put a white spotlight on Sarah, she'll disappear. End of 2019, I got diagnosed with breast cancer, and it kind of broke me out of the shell that I had put up, where I kind of wasn't taking in that people cared about me. I'm just like, people are just very nice. They're very nice. And Janice had started this art and empowerment women's group that kind of stopped meeting regularly, but had created so strong of a community that even when I had that shell around me, I'm like, I need to see these people, and they genuinely do care about me. And it broke into my shell, and they were like, you are not doing this alone. And they offered me all this help. And I'm like, oh, my partner can do it. My partner can do it. My partner can do it. But this was hell for my partner too. He had this picture that I was going to die and he was going to be alone and all these things. And finally, we came up with this slogan of don't break Jake, like lean on other people too. So all of this was still going on. I had just had breast cancer surgery and knew I was going to have radiation treatment and stuff when the lockdown happened. And I'm a nurse, and I was working at San Francisco General. So anxiety was very high at work and at home. And I am so grateful that Marvin did not skip a beat, that we did not miss a single Sunday, that that Glide was still there. My community has still been here. And I have to say, doing prayer online before and coming today to do witness, I get to see some of the backstory. And I think this kind of magically comes together, and it totally doesn't. And the message was like, oh, come at 8:30. And I'm like, 8:30, can I come closer to 9? And then when I look at everybody else's schedule, it's like everybody is here at 7 at the latest, already hard at work. So as always, a shout out to Perry, to Mark, to Reggie, to Marvin, to our Freedom Hall people, of Pam and Martin. So I did not bounce back from the breast cancer treatment. It was really tough to get treated during a pandemic. And I actually left my job, but Paula has said about Glide, get in where you fit in, which apparently Paula's mom says. Happy birthday, Paula. And Paula has been another person who's been a real lifeline for me. It's like if Paula's doing it, I kind of want to do it, is one of my roles. And she started the Racial Justice Group, which gave me an opportunity to know, as I was getting ready to retire during a pandemic, which is a hard thing to do because you want to be the last one on the ship kind of thing. The Racial Justice Group is doing projects, and I got to do a project of having African American health provider experts talk about health equity in the vaccine and the mythology of the vaccine. And that was kind of like this perfect, again, lifeline for me of you're leaving your work. I had been working as a COVID case investigator. You're leaving your work, you're leaving your team, but you're still part of it. So Glide is somewhere where, when people say, I love you, I kind of like, yeah, you're just really nice people. You're just very polite. And Janice has done this thing where she says, I love you. And then she looks at you and she says, I mean it. And it's so wild that, even before the I mean it comes, I know she means it. And recently got an email from her and she said, I love you fiercely. And I'm like, oh my God, that's what I want. I love Glide fiercely. I love my community fiercely. I want that to be where I come from and what I do. So very, very grateful that Glide has continued and been such a beautiful form to continue during the pandemic. Thanks. I'm Sarah. I'm Glide.
Thank you so much, Sarah, for your witness, for your testimony, for this amazing pink iPhone you left here for me. It's okay, I'll get it to you. I'll get it to you in 1 second. So, but I love what Sarah just said. I believe when we open the doors, just like when we open the virtual doors, people are going to come flooding in. People who are going to be shell-shocked from this war we've been in for 15 months, people who will need to be seen and heard and felt, people who will have to come to a place where they can come as they are, who don't have to know church, who don't have to know God, who don't have to know anything, but know that there's a place that will receive them. That when we say we love them, we will mean it. And when we say we love you fiercely, we will mean it. So it's in that spirit that I'm going to ask you to give today. We are expanding our Sunday celebration. We're making sure that the welcome is extravagant, that when people walk in the door, they will take the biggest sigh that they have sighed in 15 months. They will feel at home, just like we are feeling at home online and in the virtual. So it's our offering time. And if you're online, you can give through the button on Facebook, or you can use the virtual offering basket, or you can use our iGive. If you're in person and you want to give online, you can use the QR code right here. But we're also going to practice with the ushers serving you as well. They're going to come serve the community. But please give and give generously. Thank you for the ways that you show up with your time, your talent, and your treasures. It is truly appreciated that you invest in this community called Glide Memorial Church. We're going to hear one more song from Vernon Bush featuring Leah Ticey and the Glide Ensemble. Then I'll be back to introduce today's very special guest, Nicola Torbett, who has agreed to be our return to worship guest preacher for today. And we're really excited to have her. So we'll hear one more song and I'll come back and introduce y'all to Nicola.
Too close to turn back to a world of sin, and I'll take nothing off on my journey now. No, see, I gotta make it to heaven somehow.
Too close to finally reaching my goal. I said I'm too close to finally saving my soul. I tell you that I'm too close. I can almost see God's face. I'm a little bit too close. I gotta tell the world of this saving grace, and I am so close, 'cause she's holding my hand, and I know it's gonna take me to the promised land.
Too close, I can almost see my grandfather's face. Oh, I'm a little bit too close. I wanna tell you about his saving grace.
I'll tell you that I'm too close.
That was Vernon Bush, Leah Ticey, and the Change Band. Give it up, y'all. Now, do y'all remember when 18 musicians were crammed right here? That's gonna have to change, y'all. So when Vernon gets back, we're gonna explore some amazing musical variations, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. So make sure you stay tuned for all the amazing things we have planned for you. I want to introduce you to my friend, Nicola Torbett, and we are so happy that Glide continues to be in houses of worship and faith communities around
the city and around the Bay and around the world, a partner. You know, we don't roll with everybody, you know, but those who roll with us and know who we are. And Nicola from First Congregational Church of Oakland is one of those people. Nicola is a spiritual seeker, a gospel preacher, a podcaster, a writer, a resistance fomenter, a dog walker, and nonviolent direct action trainer. Driven by her passion for both spiritual formation and social change, she co-founded Seminary of the Streets, a training academy for love warriors in 2019. We should redo that here. Let's talk. Seminary of the Streets, and then Second Acts, a liturgical direct action affinity group. We can do that here too. That was in 2014. She is the co-editor of Recipients, a Lenten devotional for dismantling white supremacy, and a frequent contributor to The Word is Resistance, a podcast from Surge Faith that's standing up for racial justice, their faith coalition, as well as to Enfleshed, RadicalDiscipleship.net, and G's Magazine. She is a friend of God's and she is a friend of mine, Nicola Tobin.
Thank you so much, Marvin, and thank you, Glide. I am so honored to be here with you this morning. It's such a privilege. This is called Your Integrity is Not Flammable. There is a part of you that can never be taken from you, cannot be sullied, cannot be co-opted, cannot be killed. There is a part of you that is something I will call your integrity. It is made up of who you are created to be, the people you come from, the web of life that has sustained you all these years. Your integrity is your umbilical cord, connecting you to the source of all the love in the universe, and that connection can never be severed. It can be ignored. It can be buried. You can try to walk away from it, but it will never actually leave you. Your integrity is not flammable. Let me tell you a story. Once, not so very long ago, there were 3 young people. History has assigned them he and him pronouns, but history doesn't tend to ask, so we will call them simply by their names. Except that their real names have been lost to us. You see, these young ones, their people had been overrun by a mighty and land-hungry empire. And the most promising young people, including our 3 subjects here, were taken away as prisoners of war, seized from their families and communities and brought to the emperor's court, where they were educated or civilized, if you will. Think Indian boarding schools, think re-education camps, think scholarship kids at the private school. As part of this process, these young people were given new names, names from the imperial language, names that may be easier for their captors to pronounce, names that made more sense to the good citizens of the empire. How many know that naming is power? Our friends' new names were Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. And they were smart and talented kids, so the functionaries of the land groomed them for leadership within the very empire that had torn their lives and their families apart. This is what empires do. They offer us secure roles in exchange for our loyalty to the regime. Anyway, around this time, the emperor fashioned for himself a god, a golden statue that stood just outside the courtly walls. I don't know the name of this god, but it might have been named the economy, or profit margin, or respectability, or social status, or whiteness, or buy now before this deal gets away, something like that. And then the emperor issued a decree to all those who kept the empire running: the judges and lawyers, the doctors and social workers, the teachers and nonprofit directors, the pastors and the Amazon warehouse workers. Henceforth, he said, because he liked to use fancy words like that, whenever you hear the sound of the advertising jingle, the cash register, the Venmo app, the police siren, the national anthem, the text notification, or the ice cream truck, you will bow down and worship the God of the empire. And whoever does not bow down and worship will be thrown into a furnace of blazing fire. Therefore, as soon as they heard the sound of the advertising jingle, the cash register, the Venmo app, the police siren, the national anthem, the text notification, or the ice cream truck, the people of all races and ethnicities, all genders and sexual orientations, all job descriptions and social positions bowed down to worship the God that the emperor had set up, the God of the money and the status and the respectability. Now, around this time, some especially ambitious subjects of the empire came forward. Maybe they were clergy with a thin veneer of propriety. Or maybe they were Karens with concerns about law and order. Or maybe they were just trying to curry favor with power. Anyway, these favor-seeking ones denounced our three captive bureaucrats, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, saying, "Oh, Emperor, you great one, you have issued a decree that whenever anyone hears the sound of the advertising jingle, the cash register, the Venmo app, the police siren, the national anthem, the text notification, or the ice cream truck, they should bow down and worship the God of the more money or more status or more respectability." But there are these three oppressed people who are refusing to bow down. Then in a rage, the emperor called for Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego to be brought before him and said to them, "Is it true, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, that you do not worship the gods I have set up and do not serve them?" Now, if you are prepared when you hear the sound of the advertising jingle, the cash register, the Venmo app, the police siren, the national anthem, the text notification, or the ice cream truck, to bow down, then well and good. But if not, you shall immediately be thrown into the blazing furnace. And what God will come to your rescue then? And then Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego replied, "Sir, we have no defense to present to you in this matter. If the God we serve, the God of integrity and liberation and love, can save us, then let them save us. But if not, let it be known to you that we still will not serve your gods, and we will not worship the golden statue that you have set up." Enraged, the king ordered all his servants to assemble the judges and lawyers, the doctors and social workers, the teachers and nonprofit directors, the pastors, and the Amazon warehouse workers. Then in front of everyone, he ordered his court police, his border patrol, and his military to seize Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. He had them bound, hands and feet and head, and he ordered the furnace heated to 7 times its usual temperature. When they had done this, he ordered them to throw Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego into the fire. That furnace was so hot, according to eyewitnesses, that it immediately consumed the soldiers who threw them in. In just a little while, the emperor's mouth fell open in astonishment, and he called his closest advisors to him and asked them, "Was it not 3 people we bound head and foot and threw into the flaming furnace just now?" "Yes, sir," they replied. "Why then do I see 4 people walking around in the flames, unbound and unharmed, and with the 4th one having the appearance of a god?" Terrified, the emperor ordered the furnace door to be opened, and out stepped Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, completely unharmed. And the emperor fell to his knees and worshipped the God of integrity, love, and liberation. This is a story adapted from the book of Daniel, chapter 3. Who are Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego? Their names might have been Colin Kaepernick, or Lil Nas X, or Halsher Walia, who was just fired from her nonprofit civil rights organization for tweeting the phrase, "burn it all down." Maybe their names were Edward Snowden, or Nicole Hannah-Jones, or Tanya Abed of the Anishinaabe women who are fighting the Line 3 oil pipeline in Minnesota. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego are the whistleblowers, the water protectors, the Black freedom fighters, the boundary bosses who know their limits and honor them, the lovers of life, the revolutionaries by birth or by choice, who will neither bow nor worship the God of the dominant culture. In other words, how you're supposed to act. In a sense, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego could bear any of our names. In the context in which we are now living, we are all prisoners of war in the attack on our humanity and on life itself. Some of us are made to feel more comfortable within that regime than others. Those of us who are white, those of us who are cisgender and heterosexual, those of us with wealth. While our integrity is not flammable, it is sometimes hard to locate under the layers of privilege. But the point is that we are all in one way or another being groomed to take our place within the systems of extraction. For some of us, the only legal way out of poverty is to join a police force or a border patrol or military who terrorize the same people we come from. Others of us are tricked into positions where we think we can help, only to find ourselves gatekeeping access to resources or teaching others to become cogs in the machine that is destroying them. The point is that we are all in one way or another being asked to bend our knees to the gods of empire. Our bodies are broken from the bending. Our knees are calloused from the kneeling. Most days my own legs buckle before I can even think about it. But Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego model something different. They would not bow, they would not bend, they would not worship the false gods of the empire. They chose instead their loyalty to the poor people from whom they come, their loyalty to the endangered orangutan and the blue whale and the redwood tree, and their loyalty to what they know to be true, that their integrity is not flammable, that the God they knew, the God they worshiped, the God who made them who they are with all the creativity, brilliance, and resourcefulness that caused the empire to promote them in the first place, the God who was their creativity, brilliance, and resourcefulness because they were created in that God's image, that same God who created the coral reefs and the rainforest with all their creatures, that God was worth standing with. And so they said no to the worship of the gods of empire. And they were not obstreperous about it. There was no bravado in their words. This was not a "my God can whoop your God" moment, a triumphalist smackdown in the divine boxing match. These young resistors say, we don't actually know whether our God can save us, but what we do know is that we can't bow down to that. This kind of vulnerability, I think, is our birthright and our true condition. It is what it means to be human, and only the privileges of empire make us confused about that. When it comes right down to it, we have only our love to save us. The truth is that many of those who will not or cannot bow down to the gods of prosperity or heteronormativity or whiteness, because of who they are and who they have been created to be, many of them do not survive, not in body. But what our faith teaches us is that even if we are thrown into the flaming furnace, even if we are hung from a cross or a lynching tree, even if we are condemned by the family or the nation that birthed us, even if the worst happens and our bodies burn up, there is something that lives on, something that cannot be consumed, because our integrity is not flammable. Now, I want to be clear that not everyone has equal access to this choice. For some, it is bow down or don't eat. Worship or your children will not eat. Resistance is not some heroic individual effort. Our integrity is not individual. It binds us in solidarity to others so that we can transform the systems that ravage our people and hold us all in bondage. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego were able to take the risk they did because they were part of a larger community of resistance. That's why. They knew their connection to their people and to the web of life. They felt the umbilical cord that connected them to all things. Integrity is not flammable, and neither is it individual. And that brings us to this mysterious fourth figure in the flames, the one the emperor saw walking with Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, the one who has the appearance of a god. Christians can't help but read this fourth one as Jesus, and I believe that is right and true, in the sense that Jesus was a brown-skinned man who likewise would not or could not bow to the systems that were destroying his people, and who instead, like Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, chose to love to the death. The fourth one in the flames, I think, is the incarnation of all the love of all the people throughout all of history who have chosen to stand with life rather than to bend to the gods of profit or status or comfort or safety. I'm talking about Mahatma Gandhi and Mike Brown, Stephen Biko and Sandra Bland, Nelson Mandela and Alex Nieto, Martin Luther King and Philando Castile. There is a fellowship of the flames, a fire family that ensures that when we risk ourselves for love, we will never walk alone. Our vulnerability is made strong in community. Friends, in a time of this much violence and exploitation, we are either functionaries tending the furnace or we are bound for the fire. Some of us get to choose, and others do not, are bitten by the bullet before they have a chance. So many beloveds have already crossed through the flames to join the fellowship of the fire. If you look, I think you can make them out. They are celebrating there, dancing there, living and loving, and waiting to welcome us home. Because like them, because of them, our integrity is not flammable. Amen.
Yes. Thank you, Nicola. Y'all should turn to your neighbor and say, your integrity is not flammable. Thank you so much for being with us here today. We hope that you enjoyed our Sunday celebration. We've enjoyed having you with us today as we begin to understand what it means for us to come back together in this hybridity. I said that. And we invite you to come into Freedom Hall if you are online and to come back to the 11 a.m. celebration. But also don't forget to join us again next week at 9 and 11 a.m. We open doors at 8:30 and 10:30 a.m., which means that y'all gotta get out of here really quickly. But don't forget to keep giving and keep praying and keep witnessing and keep preaching. Let's close this sacred celebration as sweetly as we opened it. The interflow qualities of quantum love says we cannot get free alone. Freedom only works if you get free with someone, from something or someplace. Let's keep living and let's get free together, y'all. My name is Marvin K. White. I'm your minister of celebration. Please go in peace while Vernon sings us home with our closing song.
We have reached the end of our celebration, And I hope you had a good time, wonderful, loving, joyous time. And as we do here at Glide, we sing this song that we've been singing for so many years. We shall overcome. Won't you join with us right now? Here we go. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome today. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe that we shall overcome today. We shall all be free. We shall all be free. We shall all be free today. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe that we shall overcome today. Oh, we shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome today. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe that we shall overcome. That we shall overcome. That we shall overcome today. God bless you.